So yeah, if we can just finish the Higgy, because that's been fascinating and brilliant throughout tonight. But we have got a couple that when we announced that you're going to be on, just a couple of questions we'll pick out from the bunch. And one I quite liked was someone saying, Higgy, can you tell us more about Jimmy Toure?
Jimmy, I seen Jimmy play for Sutton, and I thought he's got something, that kid. You know, strong, quick, good feet, walked funny, bit pigeon-toed. Obviously a complex fella, but there was something about him that I thought, if he gets the right person, he's going to score a load of goals, a boatload of goals, because he's got so much. He was unbelievably quick. Well, I didn't realise just how quick he was. I knew he was quick, but I didn't know how quick he was until we got him. So I went and met him and his agent. Really, I didn't know what kind of lad Jimmy was. Softly spoken. I remember going to meet him. He was on a plane from Paris, and you probably remember this. We were at pre-season, and I'd said to Jimmy, right, give me a call when you arrive at Newcastle. Give me a call, and then I'll shoot up and get you. I'm only 25 minutes away or something. So I get this phone call at Jimmy says, right, I've arrived at the airport. I said, right, I'm on my way. So boom, I went up Newcastle, got to Newcastle airport, and then I phoned him. I said, Jimmy, I'm out. Nothing. No answer. So I wait. Jimmy, I'm nothing. So I'm thinking, what? So I'm waiting. I waited an hour and a half. And then I phoned again. I've been at the airport an hour and a half. Jimmy, bearing in mind, he's at the airport somewhere, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's gone missing. I don't know. Where's he gone? So after an hour and a half, his phone starts ringing. I said, Jimmy, I've been here an hour and a half. He said, yes, I'm here. I said, well, I thought you said you were here an hour and a half ago. He said, no, you told me to ring when I was at the airport. I was at France. So he phoned me before he was getting on the Paris flight. But I tell you what, a lad, I picked him up, took him down the ground, had all the stuff done. And then pre-season started, and he was unbelievable in pre-season. He was unbelievable. He had at least a life. I ended up taking him round, showing him all these houses, all these flats that he was staying in. I went shopping with him to get some stuff for his flat. I would pick him up in the morning and take him into training until he got to know the lads, and then the lads would pick him up and take him. And he done brilliant for me.
But you said that from the start, though, didn't you? You said this guy, he's had a few clubs, but he's got something. If we can make him feel like he needs a home, I think that was the words you used, and that was the skill that you think you managed him with.
Yeah, the managers he'd had been quite hard with him and harsh, and sort of ignored him a little bit.
Yeah. Jed got frustrated at times, didn't he?
Yeah, you can get frustrated with him because he will do unbelievable things, and then he'll do something sloppy. But that's why they're at this level, Simo. Yeah. You know, if he played to the level he was at, he wouldn't be playing in our league. He'd be up in the Championship or the Premier League somewhere if he could do it consistently. There was games where he was unplayable, and he scored a load of goals early, and then I felt like he was going to go on, but obviously when I went, it knocked him a little bit, and I used to get phone calls off him because he'd obviously had Dave at Fylde, and I think they had a bit of a frosty relationship.
Yeah,
and I think that sort of killed it for Jimmy without sort of giving Dave a chance. You know, Dave might have changed his mind about him, but I don't know whether that just killed it for Jimmy. He still phones me. I phoned. It will go a few months. I mean, when he left, I helped him move out, and when he was going to Carlisle, I went and got a load of stuff, and he said, I don't know what to do with all my stuff. And he kept calling me Gaffer. Gaffer, I said, I'll keep it here, Jim. You know, I'll put it in the loft for you, and when you need it, just let me know, and I'll come and. Oh, thanks. Anyway, it's still in the loft, isn't it? He went to Carlisle, didn't say nothing. I've got this iron and board Hoover. I've got a dryer. I've got half his dishware, and it's all in the loft. And he phoned me the other week. He was in France. I think he's looking for a club now. And he said, I said, I've still got all your stuff here. And he went, oh, yeah, I forgot about all that. He said, just keep hold of it for me. Is he going to use it?
I bumped into him when he, a couple of seasons ago when I was at Barrow, he was playing for Carlisle, and he'd seen us and he didn't know what I was doing there. He didn't know I'd left Hartlepool. He didn't know why I was at the Barrow Carlisle game or anything. So I texted him on the night and said, good to see you today, mate. I'm at Barrow now. And he went, oh, I didn't know you'd left Hartlepool. I'm sorry to hear that. And then immediately afterwards, can you send photos, please? I was like, yeah, some things never change.
That's what he was like. The lads, I think our lads loved him as well. And I think everywhere he'd been, lads had taken a little bit, I don't know why, because he had a great personality. He was like, he didn't know what was going on sometimes. You know what I mean? He was quite funny. And he had a great personality. I felt really down when I'd left because of him, because I knew there was a player there, and I knew I'd have probably got the best out of him. But a great lad, a really good lad, and like I say to you, still keep in touch with me. And he obviously he sent me a lovely text when I went, and then I went and met him for a coffee, and he was just a top lad, and a good player as well.
And the other one that people were talking about, I know you've seen this yourself already on Twitter, that people were asking about.
I know what you're going to say. Listen, this is. Go on.
Do you have any regrets about the Connor Newton substitution?
Massive. I mean, that was me first caretaker game, I think, and we played all right against Dagenham. Was it my first caretaker one?
Yeah.
And Kitch, you know what Kitch was like. He'd had a great game on that left hand side as a left back, bombing forward and that, but he was knackered, and he was giving me the eyes from about 20 minutes into the second half. He was giving me that. He was saying, "I like calf," and so he was carried on running, and I kept him on as long as I could. And in the end, he was on his knees. I didn't want to bring him off, and he was looking at me, and I thought he's going to get injured here. So I thought we just need someone who can run and who's like tough, and Connor was, honest lad. He could run. He was tough. I said, Connor, just go and play like 10 minutes at left back. He said, yeah, Gaffer, yeah, no worries. And then I put him on, and then listen, no one does it on purpose, do they? Where you come on sometimes and you just can't get to the pace of things, and he couldn't. And 2 goals came from right down his side with mistake, and we get beat 2-1. In the last minute, I put him on with 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left or something. And listen, that just happens, doesn't it? Sometimes that happens, but of course you regret it, because you think, well, if I didn't do that, would they have done it?
Just shows that fullback job's not as easy as it looks.
Not, Mick, it's tough.
Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't see me dead there. Wouldn't have done that. But listen, that, like I say, that happens, and it's not the player's fault. I mean, he was devastated when he come in. He apologised to everyone in the dressing room after it. But it's just one of them things that happens. I
think sometimes though, a manager just makes that sort of decision, don't? And you see what the player could do in that one role, and when the player goes on, they just can't do it. You know he can fit into that job, if you know what I mean.
Well, he sort of played everywhere, Connor. He could do that. He could play everywhere, and he was one of them who would fit in and do a job for you if you asked him to do it. But just that day, for whatever reason, he just didn't. He just switched off twice in the space of.
I remember Coops saying it to me. I think we'll play at Hillsborough against Chef Wade, and I was on the bench, and I think we just conceded maybe the second, and he put us on at right wing back and said, "Go on, Micky, change the game for us." Right? And I was looked at him. There was about 10 minutes left. But come on, they scored to make it 3-0. And I was like walking off. He went, "I didn't mean like that, Micky."
But that's it sometimes, isn't it? You're waiting to go on a sub, and I've had it loads of times where Iggy, get your stuff off. So you're waiting at the touchline, and then as the player's coming off, the manager looks at you and goes, "Go and get a goal."
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll go and get a goal. How long's left? You've got 2 minutes. Go and get a goal. You got 10 minutes. Go and get a goal. It's like, it's sometimes you see it sometimes where I've seen it, and I've seen players do it where you're getting beaten. They're looking for someone to put on, and the players are getting lower and lower in the seats.
Yeah.
Don't put me on, don't. I was never one of them, Simo.
I can imagine that.
Now, you probably did get that goal in 2 minutes as well.